Cars can be a hot topic for debate, whether it's due to their design, engine, or even just their name. But some cars stir up controversy for more serious reasons, such as being unreliable or unsafe to drive. Without further ado, here are the 9 most controversial cars that have caused a stir in the automotive world. Number 9. We have Ford Pinto. In 1971, Ford was feeling the pressure from Japanese competitors and rushed to launch the Pinto, but the speedy release came at a cost. During crash tests, it was discovered that the car's fuel tank had a dangerous tendency to explode upon impact from behind. To make matters worse, Ford was aware of the issue, but chose to ignore it, calculating that it would be cheaper to pay off potential lawsuits than to fix the problem, which would have only cost $11 per car. The consequences were devastating. Up to 180 people lost their lives as a result of the Pinto's defective design. It's a tragic reminder of the importance of putting safety first in the automotive industry. Instead of taking responsibility and ensuring the safety of its customers, Ford prioritized profits and left countless families devastated by their negligence. Number 8. It's the Chevrolet Corvair. In the 1960s, the Chevrolet Corvair caused quite a stir, and not in a good way. Political activist Ralph Nader used the car's dangerous rear-engine design as ammunition to take down General Motors in his book, Unsafe at Any Speed. What made the Corvair so hazardous, you ask? Well, its swing-axle suspension was prone to tuck under in certain situations, and cost-cutting measures meant it lacked a front anti-roll bar. This led to oversteering, which could be prevented by inflating the tires to levels beyond their recommended tolerances. Unfortunately, many Corvair owners had no idea about this, making for some very risky driving conditions. Number 7. The Aston Martin Cygnet. Once upon a time, Aston Martin had a grand idea. Take Toyota's IQ, spruce it up with a sleek Aston grille and lavish interior, and then sell it for a whopping £30,000. Sounds like a winning formula, right? Well, the folks over at Aston Martin certainly thought so, predicting a massive 4,000 sales a year for their luxury city car, the Cygnet. But alas, things didn't quite go according to plan. Despite its fancy facade, the Cygnet failed to woo the buying public, who saw through its overpriced exterior and opted for more sensible options instead. And so, after just 2 years in production, the Cygnet was given the axe. Number 6. It's the infamous Tesla Cybertruck. When it comes to Tesla and its eccentric CEO, Elon Musk, controversy seems to follow them like a shadow. Take the Cybertruck, for example. It was unveiled a few years ago to mixed reactions, yet Tesla has reportedly received over 1 million deposits for it. However, both the Cybertruck and the second-generation Tesla Roadster still seem to be a ways off from production. The Cybertruck has raised concerns about its ability to meet crash test standards. Tesla and Musk have never been ones to shy away from a challenge. So whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny that the Cybertruck has certainly stirred up some excitement and anticipation. Number 5. It's the Ford Sierra. Let's hop in a time machine and travel back to 1982. A time when council houses were being sold, British miners were voting against strikes, and Ford was introducing a new car to replace the old Cortina. That car was the Ford Sierra, and it definitely turned some heads with its futuristic jelly mold design. But not everyone was sold on the Sierra right away. Sales started off slow, with dealers still trying to clear out old Cortinas at discounted prices. However, by the time the Sierra got a facelift in 1987, things were starting to pick up, and who knows? Maybe someday we'll look back on the Sierra's unique design with fondness and appreciation for its boldness. Number 4. It's the Jaguar X-Type. In the early 2000s, Jaguar found itself in need of a compact executive car to compete with BMW's popular 3 Series. To meet their sales goals, Jaguar decided to borrow a platform from its parent company, Ford. And so, the X-Type was born, essentially a fancy version of the Mondeo. While some scoffed at the idea of a luxury car based on a family sedan, not everyone was deterred. As Jeremy Clarkson famously quipped on an episode of Top Gear, "Genetically, you are 98% identical to a halibut, but it's the 2% that makes the difference." In other words, the X-Type may have had humble origins, but it still had its own unique charm and appeal. Number 3. Aston Martin Lagonda. It's the mid-70s, and Aston Martin is in dire need of some cash. Enter the Lagonda, a four-door sedan that raised a few eyebrows with its unique appearance. But hey, it did the trick, attracting enough potential customers to put down deposits and keep the money flowing. The Lagonda was meant for those who wanted to travel in style with their loved ones, crossing continents and turning heads along the way. However, there was a catch. Just like the Ferrari 400, this beauty guzzled up gas like nobody's business, making it a pricey option for most. Number 2. Fiat Multipla, an MPV that dared to be different. Instead of the typical 3 rows of seating, it opted for 2 rows of 3, giving passengers a unique and cozy experience. However, this innovative design led to some problems in the aesthetics department. With Fiat's unconventional styling choices and the necessary width, the Multipla ended up being less than easy on the eyes. But don't let the looks fool you. The Multipla wasn't a bad car by any means. In fact, some argue that its charm was lost after a facelift in 2004. Despite its appearance, the Multipla was a quirky and functional MPV that dared to break the mold. So here's to the Multipla, a true original that deserves recognition for its boldness and creativity. Number 1. The Ford Mustang GT Coupe. It has a reputation as one of the most iconic muscle cars of all time. But there's a darker side to this classic vehicle. It's also one of the most dangerous cars on American roads. The IUHS gave the Mustang marginal ratings for its structure and safety cage, which is certainly cause for concern. However, there's another factor at play here: the drivers themselves. Mustang drivers have a notorious reputation for pushing the limits of their car's power, often engaging in risky behaviors like street racing and reckless driving. All of this adds up to a concerning statistic: 81 deaths per million Mustang registrations. That number breaks down to 23 deaths per million single-vehicle crashes, 12 deaths per million single-vehicle rollovers, and 58 deaths per million multi-vehicle crashes. So if you're thinking about getting behind the wheel of a Mustang, remember that with great power comes great responsibility. Stay safe on the road and respect the rules of the highway. As car enthusiasts, it's fascinating to see how certain cars can evoke such strong reactions from people, whether it's love or hate, excitement or disappointment. It's a testament to the power of design, engineering, and marketing that a single car can capture the imagination of so many. However, we must remember that controversy in the automotive industry isn't always a good thing. It can be a warning sign of safety issues, reliability concerns, or even ethical problems with how cars are made and sold. As consumers, it's important to be informed about the cars we drive and the impact they have on our lives and the world around us. At the end of the day, the cars we drive are more than just machines. They're a reflection of who we are and what we value. So whether you're a fan of sleek sports cars, rugged off-roaders, or practical family vehicles, always remember to drive responsibly and prioritize safety above all else. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.